Yeah, it's a very clear, very astute, very intelligent observation. Um,
Mm.
that's exactly what he is doing. He is trying to manage his own emotional state by imbalancing somebody else's emotional
Mm-hmm.
state.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because when there's chaos and confusion, it's not clear who the winner is. So it's also not clear what is right, um, and you don't get a lot of progress. You can't build a discussion in that kind of environment
Mm.
because it's not approached equally on both sides. It's not a conversation, right? Yes, saying sorry is a very powerful thing to do.
Mm.
Being able to admit, being able to admit your own mistakes is very powerful. Um, if your husband is dominating over your son in debates, conversations, arguments, whatever, um, or he feels that he needs to dominate, the problem
Mm-hmm.
with that is if you consistently lose, you give up eventually.
Mm.
If you consistently lose, you give up. So if you are constantly beaten down in the arguments, you stop
Mm.
eventually. You just the there's and then there's no communication, which is the and you can see the conversation 30 years down the line, right? You can fast forward 30 years and you can see uh, uh, you can see the father saying, "Well, you never communicated anything to me," and the son saying, "Yeah, but you always dictated to me what to do." And the father's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, yeah, I thought that was what was right at the time." And oh God,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you can see the same conflict happening further down the line. It not improving because the dynamics of the relationship as it is now are the dynamics of the relationship as it will continue.
Mm.
It won't it won't improve. There might be less arguments, but that's only because there's less communication.
Mm.
So this is setting things up for the future at the
Mm.
present at the present moment. It's amazing how beautiful the postcards look.
Mm.
Yeah, those Christmas cards with the family around the Christmas table and all the food on the table and the lights and the atmosphere. Everything from the outside is a postcard.
Mm.
It's it's a, we most of what happens out on the street in the world, not everything, most of what happens is theater.
Mm.
It's theater. We dress our best. We look our best, except for me. I usually, I, I just don't care anymore. Uh, is it bad? No, no. There's a strong argument for it. I mean, you want some level of presentation at certain points in time. There is a higher level of thinking. Wearing nice clothes is nice. Looking good is looking is looking good. But who are people looking good for? Who are you looking good for?
Mm.
Because um, I've done it. We've all done it. I've spent 15 to 20 minutes deciding which t-shirt to wear when I go out, right? And I don't do it now. I did it in the past, yeah. And no one is going to remember the t-shirt, right?
Mm.
No one is gonna go, "Hey, great t-shirt,"
Mm.
or
Yes.
it's going to be really rare that somebody does that. So or thinking is this shirt better than that shirt, or should I wear it? And after a week, no one's going to care what shirt you wore last week Yeah.
of course.
Uh, so it doesn't really matter that much. So um, it's all theater. That's the problem with the job interview. It's all theater, right?
Mm,
It's all theater. It's not. You're not seeing the person at their worst. You're seeing the person at their best. And to fully understand and know a person, you have to see them at their worst. You have to see how they handle problems, how they keep their cool, how they handle adversity, and it's only then that we get to see what is the complete character of the person. Um, so we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I've spent most of the last 10 years working with people in psychological development, and what happens in the real world is so different from what people are experiencing and feeling. It's incredible. You know, nothing nothing on television is real. None of it. None of it's real. The television is not real. The films are not real. They all give people unreal expectations of what they should experience in their life. Um, there's a little bit more of a window to reality with certain things like YouTube and people just being themselves on there. Now there's a certain level of presentation there as well, but there's also much more of people just being themselves. So um, it's it's crazy, and it you can argue that it pushes the world in a good direction sometimes because as we conform to society, we sometimes improve the skills that we have because we learn from the culture around about us some important elements. Um, so so that's good. It's good that we don't live in caves anymore, and we want to be hygienic about the habits that we have. So so all those things are good for reasons, but there's so much projection. I think that everyone is involved in projection. Everyone is like when you promote your business. Like we all want the business is perfect. Everything runs
Yes.
smoothly. We never have any. Yeah, the truth is we can't find stuff and packages are late and we don't know where the delivery is and the thing that should be working is not working and we don't have it and we forgot to send the email and right and we want to get everything right but uh, it's really difficult and then there's the unpredictable elements where you get something wrong and it actually works out better, which is really crazy. There's that as well, where you make a mistake, but you work hard to build a better relationship because of the mistake. You
Mm.
shouldn't make the mistake in the first place, but you can still transform it into an advantageous experience. So, um, yeah, I never believe what. First of all, I never believe what I see. I never believe what I see, and I never believe what I never believe completely what people tell me about other people because there's always more that we can learn, and when we learn more, the picture changes slightly. So
Mm.
so we're constantly building the picture, and we never have all the pieces. Um, but we have to work with what we've got because that's all we've got. So that there's no point saying, oh, we can't do anything because we just have to work with what we've got, even if we don't have enough information. We still have to make decisions because it's the only way to go. Otherwise, we are stuck in the paralysis of analysis where we just think about things and we never do things. Um, so all of that is important, and uh, it's the it bothers me the projection thing because other people think they know what's going on and they don't. That bothers me, the projection thing. Um, like people go to their job and they work in their job and they work hard all day and they're really happy and cheerful and they talk to their friends and then they go home and they open 3 bottles of whiskey and drink it and you know
Mm.
destroy themselves.
Mm.
And people don't. see that other side a lot of the time when people are younger, because you see it when people are older, um, because over time it has a negative effect. But people wear their masks very, very well, and because they're trained to. You're trained in school not to show who you really are, because otherwise you get crucified. Basically, you get nailed to a cross, um, because you have to have group think and group identity, and the individual is a little bit lost. Although they can express themselves through music and sport and other elements as well. Um, it's really it's really worrying that your son is afraid to share his positive experience with the work that he loves with his father. It's very personal. Music is very personal to people. Yeah, it's very often easier to share it on the internet than with friends, because
Yes.
because you don't have to worry about the direct feedback that you're
Yes,
going to receive.
reaction. Yes, yes.
Yeah, we have to be able to share our successes. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I watched a video yesterday, just a general YouTube video, but it was, if you remember, we talked before about uh, console games, Xbox games, and I told you there's a music game with where you get to play with a little plastic guitar, and you get to play the
Yes.
songs that are on the screen. And it's something that parents buy for their kids, and the kids play it a little bit, and maybe they get good, maybe they don't, maybe they have fun, maybe they listen, maybe they learn something about music, maybe they don't, I don't know, whatever. But there was a video I saw yesterday, and it stopped and it made me think, because the video said, world record in hitting notes on this game, and basically you've got to play this little plastic guitar really fast and hit all the notes in the whole song. Yeah, and you got to go like, brrr, use all your fingers, and
Yes.
like it's completely insane, right? You're watching it, and the kids' fingers are moving so fast that you can't even see them moving. It's really crazy.
Yes.
And what was interesting was it was a teenage boy, and he was sitting with his guitar on an armchair in the living room, and he was watching like the big screen, and the notes come towards you on the screen, and you play them all really quickly, and I was like, the video said world record, and I was like, okay, this would be interesting to watch this kid get a world record, because it's a kid, and it's kind of interesting to see these things. And what was interesting for me was he was surrounded by his whole family. He was surrounded. His mother was there, his father was there, sisters, brothers, friends, and they were all like, come on, yeah. And you could feel the tension, and they were all a bit nervous, and their support
Supported him. Yes,
for
yes, nice.
for his video game. It was a video game that was important to him. It mattered to him. It didn't matter to anybody else, because who else in the world cares about that? I mean, your sisters and brothers and your mom and your dad, they don't care about that. But there he was, surrounded by his whole family, and someone in the family had a video camera, and they were filming it, and they were all supporting him, and he's like getting these, and he's obviously practiced and spent years doing this.
Yes, yes, yes.